knife and fiber optics cable, phone cable. They're moving it out in the road. It used to be up on the bank. It's real dry now. You can see how it heaves that trench up where that knife is. This road's not a real heavy traveled road, so it's not too bad. The heavy traveled roads, the chunks of roadbed will be 1.5 foot or 2 foot in diameter when they come up off that knife. They're a good crew. They do a good job of fixing when they're done. They've went down this road over here to the right, and they have finished it the best that they could. And then I'll grade it, and I'll leave my excess material laying on that trench. I don't want water to get in that trench. We've been at this for about 6 weeks now, and they're almost done in my township. So the ground's hard enough, they got a bulldozer in front of the knife dozer. It's still pretty slow going. This is a federal funded project. This local phone company got $15 million grant, and the whole concept is to get high-speed internet out in the country. So because it's a federal project, you got to have an archaeologist. That's a woman walking along behind that knife. She's looking for anything, and you hope like hell she don't find something. If she found a bone, they'd have to stop. Now you can get a little better idea of what it does to the roadbed. There's the roadbed in front of him. There's after that knife goes through. See, it's halfway up to her knees. It's good that it's dry. They don't tear my roads up getting there with all their equipment. But look how it pulls them chunks up. You can see how it's breaking that roadbed. It's breaking it out 18 inches on each side of that knife. So I end up with a 3 foot wide swath in my road that's broke. Now they've came to a culvert, and they've got a bore under there, and they stopped right by the end of the bore. They'll feed that cable through that bore tube by hand, and the knife, he'll move over on the other side, and they'll feed that cable through there and hook him back up, and he'll take off again. See, here he's opened up that holder on the back of the knife, getting the cable out of there. They don't make a splice at these road bores. They feed that cable through there by hand. So he's moved over to the other side of the culvert where the bore ended. They've got a hole dug here in the roadbed. That gets their sleeve down in the ground where it's supposed to be with the cable in it. They've pushed that cable from the other side, pushed it over here, so he's got to hold the end of it. He'll knife out there a little ways, and then he'll stop. They'll feed that cable into his knife, and then he'll take off again. So every time they come to a culvert under the road, which there's a fairly big one, 3 foot diameter culvert here, every time they come to a culvert, they bore under that culvert. And then he knifed down here from the right. He come down to that where the bore tube was laying, and he stopped. And then he moved across the bore length over here. And he's backed up and stuck his knife back in that bore hole. They've dug that one in over there. The backhoe's putting the dirt back in and tamping it. They fed the cable through the sleeve, through the knife on the machine, on the vibrator knife, and then the cable's laying on the shoulder of the road. All the way up here to the top of the hill, and you can see the spool right there by that pole. That spool is on a trailer. So there's a lot of handwork involved in this. And they've been here, 15 minutes, maybe 20 at the very most. And they're ready to start knifing again.